Hello from the dung heap, everybody. These are my friends. A lot of them.
Friends.
There he is. Hi, sweetie.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
And we're live. Hello. SPTV. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. If you celebrated yesterday, I hope you had an amazing Independence Day. And if not, I hope you had an amazing day anyways. And here we are. We've made it through a whole week again. Yay. See, we did it. We did it. So yeah, here we are. Here we are. So per usual, this morning I was contemplating, oh my goodness, am I going to do a live this morning? I told my mods, I said, I don't have anything good to say. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything, right? And then my morning just kind of started shaping up. I was thinking about some things, went to the post office and was listening to some streams, and something kind of came to me, kind of came together. And it started by, I was actually listening to, of all things, HG Tutor. He has a channel on YouTube, and I was first introduced to him by, actually, I think it was Andrew Gold and Doug Scott Kramer. And Doug Kramer did quite a few interviews with him, and then he did some live Q&As, which were amazing. So I was listening to, first of all, to HG Tutor's eulogy of Doug from last December. And so if anyone doesn't know who HG Tutor is, he is a self-aware narcissistic psychopath. And he is diagnosed. So it's not just he's self-proclaimed. Well, he says he's, we don't even know who he is, but he seems legit because he seems to know his stuff. So a self-aware narcissistic psychopath is actually very, very rare, but he actually gives a really interesting window into how a narcissistic psychopath thinks. And it was, very eye-opening to listen to it again, because of course, after I listened to the eulogy they did for Doug, it kind of went into another interview that he had with Doug. And yeah, it was very eye-opening. I want to talk about it a little bit, but first of all, I want to say that, and I'm trying not to cry, tomorrow is July 6th, and that was Doug's birthday. He was born July 6th, 1973. And I'd like to honor him tomorrow and during our stream. So if y'all have, something you want to share, just prepare something in the chat. And I'll try to read as many things as I can. And I'm asking some of his friends like Marisa and Kelly to, if they're available, to pop in the chat, or of course they could pop on here if they wanted, or send me a clip. Liz Gale, also, if you're listening, honey, I'll be contacting you later. Just maybe a line or two, blow drill, if they're not busy, if they want to just even send me a line or two to read. So, yeah. Oh, Ethan, your birthday is July 26th? Really? You were so close. And July 26th is actually my anniversary, mine and Duncan's anniversary. We'll be married 27 years. So, yeah, awesome. Liz, oh, good, you're here, honey. Good. Yeah, hi, Liz. Gal. Yeah, I'll message you later. I just if I don't know if you heard me already say it, that Doug's birthday would be tomorrow, and I just want to honor him. I think that it's been over 6 months. I know many of us have had a hard time watching his videos or talking. Blow drill, you make me cry. Hi, Doug. Sorry, you were loved and missed. Keeping you in our thoughts. Yeah, yeah, and he talked about you, Dylan. That you're a cool dude. However he said it. Yeah. Um, okay. So that happened. We'll talk more about him tomorrow. And yeah, I think it's time. And it's timely because tomorrow's his birthday. So, and I don't want him to be forgotten. And I know he's not. He's not forgotten. So anyways, this empath thing. So I find that even if I can't fix something, to know what I'm dealing with really helps. So I do a lot of Googling, a lot of studying. And for instance, when I quit smoking, and Doug was another one that inspired that because I'm older than he was. And I could see it was affecting me. So that was one of the reasons I tackled this quitting thing. But when I did, I wanted to know what to expect, and just like when I was pregnant, I had all the what to expect when you're expecting. I wanted to know what to expect, and as I've been going through it, I want to know what to expect in the future. And everyone's different. Everyone handles things differently. But I know I'm rambling a little bit. But with this thing that's happening in this community, in this space, with a lot of people feeling burnt out, feeling disillusioned, feeling like lost and confused, and in some ways fooled, defrauded. Um, I titled this, "You Might Be an Empath." You just might be. And just like we talk about how this space has so many trauma survivors, I believe it also has so many empaths. And you got trauma survivors and empaths. And then no wonder that you have some wolves in sheep's clothing. And what what is attracted? What type of personality is attracted to empaths? Well, according to HG Tutor, that would be people with a narcissistic personality. So it's definitely something we need to look out for, and in general, even without that, it can really make you feel very, you know, weary and burnt out to be constantly having to navigate this whole space, right? So again, we've been talking about self-care. We've been talking about taking breaks if you need it. And I also want to just kind of outline very, basically what a first of all, what an empath is defined as and some characteristics and traits. And also some things that may help to have knowledge and empowerment. Um, yeah. So sorry, I gotta shut my door because someone I think just walked in. Hi, honey. You must be coming home for lunch. So, anyways, here we are. So I'm gonna pop some things up and read to you all, and I will do some greetings in a little bit. Okay. To stage. Okay, it says signs of an empath. Feel drained when exposed to intense emotions. Avoid emotionally impactful media. Naturally be the person everyone confides in. Be compelled to practice compassion in everyday life. Have strong, often correct intuition. Dislike crowds. Regularly feel burnt out. Experience emotions without knowing why. Oh, God. Oh my goodness. Anyone feel judged here? Yeah. I can pretty much pick off all the boxes. And I often was like, I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know why. Yeah, totally, totally. So I want to break down a few things here. So basically, an empath is someone who feels everyone's emotions. An empath isn't an official psychological term, but it's generally defined as a person who is highly attuned to the emotions of others. Empathy is an essential skill for all kinds of relationships, but people with very high levels of it may have a hard time setting boundaries between themselves and others. I'll say that again for the people in the back because I'm preaching to myself. People with very high levels of it may have a hard time setting boundaries between themselves and others. One of the most significant challenges of being an empath is the emotional overload that often accompanies the ability to feel deeply. I'll read it again. One of the most significant challenges of being an empath is the emotional overload. I keep saying want to say overlord. Overload that often accompanies the ability to feel deeply. Empaths are particularly sensitive to the emotions of others, and it can be challenging to distinguish between their own feelings and those of the people around them. That's a good point. Okay, these are some things that may, be disturbing to an empath: watching violent news, being around sarcastic, critical, or narcissistic people, or spending days at an amusement park. Interesting. Are not things that empaths enjoy. To feel their best, empaths need to minimize or avoid situations like this unless they want to end up feeling exhausted, drained, used, or anxious. Interesting. You absorb other people's emotions. You may feed off others' emotions and experiences, both the good and the bad. When you're surrounded by joy and gratitude, you feel the same positive energy. But you also absorb negativity like anger, anxiety, and pain, which can lead to emotional exhaustion. Yeah, makes sense. You find emotions contagious. Someone's laughing, you feel happy. Someone's crying, your own eyes are welling up with tears. You don't have to know or love the person who's emoting to catch their emotions. So it's contagious. Yeah. Yeah, that really spoke to me because it gave me a more of an understanding of what believe I'm going through and what many of you may be going through. So what with understanding and knowledge comes power and empowerment. And so I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a wonderful thing to have empathy for people. But if you are getting to where you feel burnt out, you feel exhausted, you feel like you can't, like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. I've had so many people message me and email me and comment and just being like, "Oh, I can't sleep. Oh, this is exhausting. Oh, what's happening in SPTV?" And it's like, it's the internet, So it's like, so to me, I get like, "Oh, that's so silly," but it's not silly. It's not silly because if you are an empath and you're empathetic, um, you need to kind of step back, and take care of yourself because as they say, whoever they are, you can't help anyone else if you don't take care of yourself first, right? When you're on the airplane, what do they say? They say to secure your own mask first. It's not selfishness. It's not. Do it. Promise me that you'll do it, you know? So, yeah, I hope you understand, so far what I'm I'm trying to lay out here. And another thing that I was thinking is not only need we need to be aware of the potential burnout, but also be aware of your limits and be aware of things that can really wear you down to where not only boundaries need to be set, but sometimes you need to avoid something altogether. I found that I can't listen to certain people because they're just so negative that I walk away feeling drained and upset and not good, not good. And let me let me ask you something. When I do this, I set up with my pen and I'm going like this, and I say, I'm going to say this. I say when I'm going to say this. Um, we talked about a few weeks ago when there was a situation with predatory behavior on the part of someone in this community, and we talked about how basically many of us feel like this community was being used as like a hunting ground for a predator, you know, and and in some ways that could be in other ways too. You know what I mean? Um, people throw around things like clout chasing and grifting and all that. I mean, I think it definitely is a thing. It's definitely something that you need to be aware of and look out for. I don't, you know, I don't think that anyone should be calling other creators who get, money or whatever for what they do, calling them grifters or whatever. That's not my style at all. But I think that everyone that is a viewer and wants to support needs to, just decide for themselves what they want to support. And again, have the tools and the empowerment to know to take care of yourself and help yourself first. If you can't afford even the 2.99 a month, I don't want anyone to put themselves out. I really, really don't. So again, it's all about self-care. But back to the potential, predatory behavior of it all. I was listening to HG Tutor again, and I remember I remember saying to Doug once, just kind of thinking out loud, like just venting, like, Doug, why is it that I seem to attract these people that just like, oh, they just drive me crazy and drain me. And he's like, I'll tell you right now, because you're an empath. And he said, he's like, there's no hope. It's not gonna stop. It's always gonna happen because you're an empath. Narcissistic people will always be looking looking for you, right? Hunting for people like you because you're an empath. And I was like, don't tell me that. Well, what's the hope? What's the hope? And he's like, HG Tudor would say, cut off their fuel source. Cut off their fuel source. So there was somebody in my life. Well, I'll use my cult leader for example. All she did was take and take and take, and we were her fuel. And I think that using a cult leader is a really good example of this because H.G. Tudor talked about how people are used as their fuel. They're not even aware. I mean, not to feel sorry for the narcissist at all, but they're not self-aware. They're not even aware that they're using people, but they use them as fuel. And specifically, they hunt people like empaths, right? That will relate to them and they don't feel your emotions, but you feel for them, right? You have empathy and sympathy for them and they take advantage of it. It's just in some ways they don't even know they're doing it. It's just in them to do it, right? So basically you need to really take care of yourself and defend yourself against it and wall yourself off if you need to. Because if you find yourself falling into it over and over and over, what's the definition of insanity? Just keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Sometimes you just have to be like for yourself and for their sake. They shouldn't be able to be doing that, you know? So we got the awareness and the self-awareness. The other thing I thought was so true, is the black and white thinking. If you come up with if you come up against that type of personality, a narcissistic personality, they they either paint you white or they paint you black, which means that if you're love bombing them, if you're giving them what they want, if you're being fuel for them, positive fuel where they feed on you, you are constantly offering up offerings to them like a god, right? You're complimenting them, you're giving them things, you're helping them. It's all about them. If you dare to ask a question, so they're painting you white, right? You dare to ask a question of them. You dare to be in any way critical of them. You're painted black immediately. You know, so there's no middle ground. at all. Um, yeah. So I mean, I guess it's not really good news, except it is if you are aware of it and you can take care of yourself and nip it in the bud when it needs to be, you know, and um, you're worth it. You're worth it. And am I saying to go away from this space and never come back again? No. In fact, I think that by being aware and having these tools, you can just, go and refresh yourself and then come back and and offer something and also get something. I feel like there's an exchange. So it makes me feel very optimistic and empowered that we can keep going and helping the the you know the whole cause of it all, right? Whether it's protesting, whether it's writing letters to the government, whether it's just being here for the survivors and constantly, educating ourselves and educating others and keeping the lines of communication going. So there was a comment on my I think in the chat yesterday that I I noticed that someone said, you're just sitting in your chair. You're just sitting there. And why don't you go out and, are you going out and protesting? And then they said you're not supporting such and such second gens. Okay. So um to that, I would say, yes, I'm sitting in my chair. No, I haven't gone out and protested yet. I plan to. I plan to. But I think there's different ways of protesting. You know, I'm doing what I feel I can from the holler, and also, I mean, I'm not a second gen ex Scientologist, but I am a cult survivor, and I feel like doing this is protesting my cult because that biatch is 3.5 miles away. And let me tell you, I got a message from, I call him a kid. He's in his 40s. He's in his 40s now, but precious friend who I don't get to talk to much, but he's a survivor of Door of Hope. And he was a child. He was one of the children. See, I'm 10 years older than him, maybe even older. But he's getting married to a man. And his mother is still part of the cult. And she informed him that she can't go to his wedding. And he's heartbroken. Um, and you know what? That's on her because she's missing out because he's a wonderful, wonderful person. And so I feel like by being here in this space and talking to all of you and being there for this precious friend of mine, that is protesting. So that's just my part. And I feel like I am supporting everyone. I'm not taking sides, although I am calling out poor behavior, which I did yesterday. So, take that for what it is. And I don't do this guilt by association. If anyone wants to watch DOA or be friends with them, that's fine. I'm not going to criticize them. But at the same time, I'm going to call out that bad behavior because I don't think it's right. So I wanted to mention also yesterday, we kind of had a bit of a pop-up fundraiser, and I'd like to keep that going. There was a statement made that anyone who is protesting outside Blue or Big Blue or whatever in the future that also supports SPTV Foundation will be bullhorned down and counter protested. So as a little bit of a rebellion, I decided yesterday while I was talking about it, we had a little pop-up fundraiser for the SPTV Foundation. And let's see. I texted Aaron this morning and said, hey, you might have some donations to the SPTV Foundation. And I told him, we had a little bit of a pop-up fundraiser spontaneously yesterday. And I want to show you what he said. So he said, thank you so much. I noticed, wonder where they were coming from. I said, we all want the second gens to feel supported. And then he said, thank you with the little pray hands. So thank you to everyone who donated. It definitely is noticed. It is helping. It is really, really appreciated. And if you can, even give $1 or $2 or $5 or $50 or $500, whatever, it will all go to a good place. And people are already the second gens. So many of them are going to benefit from this. We know that some have already gotten therapy. They're getting education paid for. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So with all that, okay, thank you for just, oh my goodness, I went on for 25 minutes. I want to back it up. I don't actually have anyone in the background today, but I am going to try to catch your questions and comments as much as I can and say hello, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. So, okay, wow, everyone's chatty today. Awesome. Say hello to some people. Jersey Jan, hey there, good to see you. Kathy Ann, Jersey Jan and Kathy Ann. Lady Jane out, good morning. We've got great gig in the sky, top of the morning. Good to see you. We got Flea Dog and Anna and Mike Jesus. Yes, I'm so glad you're here. We got Mother of Cats. Hiya, Marilyn in chat. Hope everyone is having a great day. It's a damp, dreary afternoon in London, England today. Yeah, I believe it. I think I was talking to Kelly the other day, and we had that same weather here, and we were kind of commiserating about it. We have very similar weather, that's for sure. Oh yes, this is a good point. Saja Flonase, good morning, Marilyn, mods in chat. The dogs and I survived the first round of noise last night. It's going to be a loud, sleepless weekend. I know, poor babies. Yeah, we didn't have anything really loud here because I don't want to hurt the dog's ears or give them anxiety. Yep. Mischief Managed, hey there, good to see you. Hey, Kayla, good to see you, honey. So glad you're here. We got Poet. Hey there. Good to see you, Poet. A Poet, I think you had something going on too, right? You had some kind of stream. There's a lot going on today. SPTV land. So make sure you check out sptv.space to see who is live all day. We got Joel McCoy. Hey there, friend. Joel McCoy, I got your package out this morning. I ran down to the post office. I got it done. So, Marilee, hey there. Listening while I maybe get more sleep. I hear ya. Did I spy with my little eye? There she is. Susie O. But first coffee, Susie Oberholtz. I'm here. Yay. So glad you're here. Good morning. Morning. We got George Massey. Oh, George. We got Constance June. Hey there. Good day. All right. I'm trying to catch up here. Oh, it's going to be a little while probably. Now what? Oh, now what? We got Harry the Advocate. Is 1 a.m. there? 1 a.m. Where are you? Are you in Australia? Somewhere. I'm wondering. The Asen. Kathy Scoggins. Hey there. Jennifer Marie Joyce. Sushiful. Oh my goodness, so many. Rose Gold. North Texas Angel. Wow. All right. So thanks, George, for putting all these links. I appreciate it. So, okay, now I'm to where we were talking about Doug. Yeah. Stasia says, July 31st will be my mom's 95th birthday. I miss spoiling her so very much. Aw. Yeah, hugs to you. Hey, Anna Banana. I love that. I love that. I think there was a Juanita Banana yesterday. I was singing like in my head the Chiquita Banana commercial song. All right, just scrolling. CK Raridan, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you. force of delightful nature. Marilyn, this is very sweet of you. Remember how remembering is how we can keep Doug alive. Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to do that tomorrow. Definitely. Because none of us have forgotten. No. Tony Hoban, I think you are describing many of us never ends. Yeah, I think so. And also the second gens and the survivors as well. So many of them are, I believe, are very empathetic and empathic. And, unfortunately, there is a handful that may have some of those other qualities that, they need to be aware of, I know that Doug always said, and actually, Kelly and I did a stream about this last week, and she laid out so many of the warning signs and principles and things that Scientology uses to basically produce, in some cases, predators and also narcissistic qualities in people. So yeah, definitely something to look forward to. I mean, look out for, I should say, not look forward to. Look out for. Watch out. Watch out. Tony, love you, Marilyn. Me too. And yeah, speaking of watching out for it, it's like I I used to ask myself, like, or I'd ask other people, like, do you think I'm a narcissist? And be like, well, if you're asking that, you probably aren't, because it's pretty rare that a narcissist would ask that. Or yeah. Comment 81 million to 380 million narcissists in the world. That equals to 1 to 5% out of the 8.1 billion. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's millions. Wow. Sushiful says, yep, 100% empath / narcissist relationships are so common. Yeah. Oh, I'm not surprised at this one, honey. I'm not surprised. You have so much compassion and empathy. The blessing and curse of empaths, it definitely makes sense. Narcissists would be drawn to empaths. Yep. Yeah, that actually helped me to, like I said, to understand what's happening. And then you can guard yourself, and help yourself, guard yourself against it. So empaths are 10% narcissists. Oh, that's interesting. Keela, I believe that. Um, Lady Jane L, yes, please. I have so much empathy, so I'd like to hear about this. Good. I really try to pick subjects that I think that everyone could maybe relate to or glean from, and things that I'm kind of preaching to myself about, and that I'm interested in, because that's why I often call this morning musings. You know, Jason, 8 out of 8 traits. Yep, I hear you. James Steele. Yeah. Stasia, I guess I'm just empathic and not empath. That's definitely could be. Absolutely. Yeah. Bodrill, this has been a challenging space to heal, be vulnerable, and support others' journeys. Yeah. And I think you do amazing at all three. So thank you for being here, Dylan. Joe McCoy, well, I guess I'm an empath, not 100% of the signs, but most. I hear ya. Hey, Corin, good to see you. I knew I was an empath and am feeling some burnout and confusion. Extended family has taken advantage of this, so I've learned the hard way. Yep. I always say I learn everything the hard way, but I'm learning. I'm still learning, even if it's the hard way. Remarks, I resemble that remark. Oh. Keela McDonald, you have no idea at times what are your emotions and what are the other people's emotions. Yeah, absolutely. And it can be so frustrating, maddening, burnt in, and exhausting when the other person doesn't reciprocate. They don't understand where you're coming from. And their emotions are projected on you, and you're trying to, you know, understand where they're coming from, but you're also taking it on as well, and not allowing yourself to be yourself. So yeah, it's definitely something that is is worth exploring and for your own, for our own sake, right? Kathy Scoggins, I'm an empath, but now that I'm older, I'm getting better at spotting the narcissist so I don't hurt so much. That's good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Lottie. Yeah, you want to turn it off. Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know if this is kind of a crazy example, but um, I remember, I think it was maybe the Long Island Medium, where she said that like she'll just be in the grocery store and she'll have this like premonition or something will be like talking to her, and she's just like, I wish I could turn it off. And that's how I feel about being an empath. Yeah, it's like, oh, I wish, like, because I'm like, I don't know why I'm crying, and I really am affected by movies and by stories and things like that. I'm not into like horror movies or anything like that. I mean, I am fascinated with cults, probably because of what happened to me, but I'm learning to be stronger about it. And like I said about the whole smoke screen thing of quitting smoking, it's like another layer that has been kind of taken off, and it's like taking off the cover of all these emotions that I was kind of hiding. And so I'm really having to deal with it in a very real way, but just also trying to be kind to myself and patient with myself, you know. And I hope everyone else, can do that too. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy Ann. Sending love to everyone who identifies with us. And that's spoken like a true empath. Yes, I feel that too. Atkins in Texas. You're so funny. Oh my God, I kind of like emotional overlord. Yeah, could explore that, you know? Anna Banana, I try not to watch too much news, not all that reliable at times and mostly traumatizing. Yeah, yep. It's mostly bad news, you know? Camping among the pines. Hey there. My late husband, a very intuitive, kind psychologist and therapist, thought I'm an empath. I do know that I have to be very careful about the media I consume, the people I'm around, and is there, I'll look for the second part of it. If I'll get to it. So she felt, yes, I'm empathetic, but not an empath. But I have seen narcissists target people with emotional personalities who lack boundaries. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely true. And while they lack empathy, they also tend to, the ones I've known, have this charming quality where they do the kind of love bombing, luring you in, buttering you up, acting like they really do care, and then flip the switch. And it's so disheartening. It really is. Bojo, sometimes I leave this space and feel like I'm on the verge of trembling for hours, like a wave of anxiety is going to swallow me as soon as it crashes. Yeah, I hear that, Dylan. And please promise me and all of us that you will take care. You'll take care of yourself. And that's why I think we do need to look out for each other as well, and speak out when we do see these type of behaviors that could be hurting people, and also to just wall it off. Like, um there's a fine line between, you know calling attention to something in as much as it's necessary to to call it out, deal with it, and move on, and not dwell on it. And now it's just like, you know I'm putting my blinders on. I'm not even going to deal with these trolls and people that are trying to, you know, just shut others down and hurt them. You know, Camping among the pines. I need to be out in nature every day. Gardening seems to absorb my sadness, and that's a really good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. We've talked about We talk a lot about triggers in this space, about avoiding triggers, which is kind of like what we're talking about now. Avoiding things that are going to consume you, use you up like fuel, and spit you out and make you feel anxious, exhausted, and burned out. And what are things that refresh you? You know, um, it used to be I had this kind of love-hate relationship with cigarettes because it provided some kind of dopamine, you know? And that's what a lot of substances do. Now I'm trying to do things like go in the pool, pet my puppies, do crocheting, diamond art, things like that. And going, just out in nature, like you said. This morning I was gonna put off going to the post office again. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a ride. It'll be fine. I'll be back in time to see you all. And yeah, so it was just good for me to just get out of the house. So yes, that's excellent point there. Totally. Chrissy Never in Newton. Hey there. My mom recognized it in me at age 4. I understand why she tried to keep me away from certain people and places. I am fortunate, but it has been hard as an adult. That's a really good point if you see that in your child. Yeah. Well, that was a good mom. And yeah, it's hard as an adult, but now that you're aware of it, you can take care of yourself. It's awesome. Hey, Adira. Good to see you. Oh, hey, Perth Scientology Audit. You there? Good to see you. Liz Gal. Love you, Liz. So glad you're here. Cornflake. There's a certain music to this day from my childhood I cannot listen to without severe triggering. Yes, music can be very influential. Good and bad. Absolutely. CK Raridan, sorry. This is an amazing topic. Ironically, I thought perhaps I was going through this and started researching what an empath is. Mm. Well, I'm glad you all can relate. I mean, to each other. We can help each other. Oh, now what, Blue Drill? That happens to you too? Yeah. Yeah. Keela, I have 20 mentally ill residents that I cannot stay in the same room with all at once. I get physically sick. Yeah, it's real and it's true. I totally get it. Yeah. MZ, Janie, you explain me? Yeah, well, I didn't know I didn't know there would be so many, but I think it's a good thing to explore. One sec, guys. Oh, okay, we got Kathy in. Can't pour from an empty cup. Absolutely. You need to fill your cup. Totally. All right, just trying to catch up here, going through some more comments. Joel McCoy, I guess I am an empath. I think that a narcissist can create an empath. My father, a bad narcissist, and I worked my whole life not to be one. For me, it was because of him that I am maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure what makes like what causes an empath to be an empath. If it's something that they naturally, that's a good point. And I think yeah, you bring up a very good point because if you are basically, I'm thinking of like the whole thing with the complex PTSD where it's over a course of many years that you are repeatedly traumatized. I think that if you were repeatedly exposed to someone who is supposed to be taking care of you and they're a narcissist, then yeah, it's like you're being programmed to acquiesce to them and not and then when you're an adult, finding yourself makes it hard, you know, because you're so used to in some ways bowing down to the whims of a narcissist. So, oh, now what? Marilyn, you always offer a safe place for us empaths. Thank you. I hope so. I hope so. I really do care, and I want this to be very safe. Yeah. Keela, I find myself going to the extreme when putting my boundaries up. I know the extreme damage when I have other emotions, so I tend to go overboard with boundaries to keep that from happening. That's a really good point. Right, right. Um, it's so hard to know the balance, right? Because you don't want to fall in to control, and you want to, be able to assert yourself, assert boundaries when you need to. But sometimes it's so hard that it's hard not to just be like, that's it, and put walled up. Yeah, I have a hard time with that too, because I say this, I'm sort of like the Hulk. It's like, you won't like me when I'm angry. It's like, yeah. I don't like the person I become when I get really upset, and my emotions kind of get carried away. And also over a course of time, if you train somebody to treat you in a certain way, and then you start to push back and say, hey, I need to put up walls, and they don't understand that because they're so used. Oh, sorry. I'm blurry. They don't understand that because they're so used to you giving them so much ground in your life, in your time, in your emotions and empathy and everything, that it's a shock to them too. And so, yeah, I think it has to be to where you can communicate it without making yourself feel like you're going overboard. I, I understand what you're saying. Like, I'm having a hard time expressing it, but yeah, I run into that a lot. I really do. Um, and I try not to, be extreme about it, but it's hard. And lately, I've been kind of just blocking trolls. I know that's not what you're talking about, but I just like, kind of giving myself permission to be like, you know what? I'm putting the wall up. I'm blocking them, especially if I don't know who they are, or really care. So, Lady Jane, I have empathy coming out of my ears. I hear you. I hear ya. Oh, this is a good point. Good point. Great gig in the sky. Pay attention to your intuition. If it doesn't feel right to you, just scroll on by. Yep. I hear you. I hear you. Holy Rogue, empath. Yes. I've listened to your videos, Holy Rogue, and you are definitely an empath. But I'm no psychologist. I can't diagnose anyone, but I would be willing to bet that you are. I would be willing to bet. Yeah. Perth Scientology. Oh, yeah. Quite a few. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Mischief managed. Confrontation? Nope. Arguing? Nope. Doesn't even have to involve me. Crowds? No way. Stressful media? Not on purpose. Being around someone who's angry makes me want to run. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. And I think in some cases that could be it could be that you're an empath, and also could be like self-preservation, like a trauma response, because many of us have been traumatized. So yeah, I'm not really sure the whole psychology of it, but it is interesting. Yep, you're absolutely right. There's no middle. I hear you. Holy Rogue, I loved Doug. He was my favorite. I loved his analysis of Lafayette's demonic history. Oh yeah, that is very interesting. Mhm. Yeah, so if anyone is just joining us and didn't hear, tomorrow would have been Doug Scott Kramer's birthday. Doug Scott Kramer of Days But Not Confused. He passed away in December. Many of us miss him so much, and he would have been 51 tomorrow. So I'd like to make my morning stream a little bit of a tribute, a remembrance. I haven't honestly, guys, I don't feel worthy. I don't feel like I can do him justice. But I thought, you know what? I'm not going to let his birthday go by without in some way acknowledging him and giving everyone an opportunity to write something in the chat about him, or or some of his friends if they want to join me, or even send me a clip or something that I can play. I'll do what I can. So yeah, I just want to give him a nod because he made such an impact in my life and so many in this space. So all right, I'm trying to catch up, everybody. I don't have anything starred to speak of. So I know there's so many great comments. Sorry if I'm missing so many of them. Cheryl, you're going to LA? Damn, girl. Damn, lady. That's awesome. Oh, wow. I am so behind. See, who am I missing here? Grace and faith to all. Hey there. Debbie Art, good to see you. Oh, this is a good point. Sinead Skoll. My boyfriend is so confused why I'm nauseous over people's feelings, and I've never met on the internet. Yes. Yeah, I think we're onto something. I mean, like I said, just being able to explain it is like, why am I so upset about the internet? Because you might be an empath. You might be an empath. And it's okay. Perth. My cat definitely doesn't feel empathy. Cats, yeah, they are kind of narcissistic, aren't they? Oh, yeah, gotta love them. Somebody had a handle yesterday. Cat, what is it? Cats hate cults. I think that's what their name was. And I was like, yeah, probably do hate cults because they have a mind of their own. They could be really good cult leaders themselves. So, hey, Dip Me in Glitter, so glad you're here. It's hard. It's hard, I think, when we take it all in for everyone because we want to heal everyone, or at least I do. Yeah, I hear you. Absolutely. And, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Just be aware of it when you need to, fall back and take care of yourself. So I want everyone to make a pact with themselves today that they will take care of themselves as well as other people. Put your oxygen mask on first, please. We got BZ 1080. It can be exhausting and stressful. Some find solace in isolation or spending a lot of alone time. Yeah, if you're what did they say? Like an introvert. There's an introvert and an extrovert, and sometimes you can't tell the difference because somebody who is an introvert could be very friendly and act very extrovert, like an extrovert. But what was explained to me, the difference of them were like, where do you get your energy, your what refreshes you? Does it refresh you more to double back and be by yourself and kind of get more energy? And believe me, that's me. So I guess in some ways I'm an introvert because I look within, and that's kind of gives me the energy and the empowerment to go out and be among people. Or some people feed on the energy of others, and they are just bubbly and they love to be around people, and that really makes them feel refreshed too. And maybe I'm both because I like that too, but I also like my alone time. So yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, that is a really good point. Anyways, if you get exhausted around people, then just go and double back. So Jazzy Girl Sarah, it's truly tough to feel everything so deeply. Exhausting. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's important to take breaks, to take care of yourself. Kathy Ann, reach out when and if you need to. You're not alone. Absolutely. And I am so looking forward to the channel that Keela, who I think is still in the chat, and Dr. Gretchen are doing. It's, I believe, if I have it right, it's at, so the at sign, mental health matters to us with a 2, like the number 2. Believe that's it. If one of the mods could look it up, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. Keela says, I have to be alone, even away from my pets, to get any peace. The emotions are so palpable. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Deanna, great job, Meryl. Nicotine is an awful habit to break. Thank you. Yeah, it's still tough, guys. It really, so this Sunday will be 5 weeks, and yeah, it's still a struggle, but I know I'm past, I believe I'm past, being tempted to go back, because I don't want to go through this again. But yeah, I'm starting to like breathe easier, not only physically actually breathe easier, but be relieved that like today I was rushing around. I came back from the post office and I was going to make tea and all that. And it just dawned on me that before, when I was still smoking, I was always like last minute trying to like get enough nicotine in me to be so I could sit for an hour and a half without worrying about having, a nicotine fit, right? And it was always like I had to build in the time. And it was like, instead of being a relaxing thing like I thought, it was like it was like bondage. It was like, nope, you got to go outside, you got to do this. And now I realize I have a little bit of extra time. When I sit down, I can, I can get my stuff in order and know what I'm doing and not have to run at the last minute. So yeah, I'm just counting my blessings, I guess is what you say. Yeah. There you go. Kate Delay. Hey there. Please, empath, if you feel overwhelmed, hug a tree. And I'm not joking. All right. He will anchor you in the moment and recharge you. It's all energy. Yeah, try that. Let's see. There's a tree I can hug outside. I think there is. I'll try that. Got a lot of pine trees. Hug a tree. All right, everybody, hug a tree today. No, I live in Vermont, so they kind of joke about tree huggers here, but I'm gonna try it. Thank you, Jazzy girl. I really appreciate the encouragement about the smoking thing. And I think that Kelly Copter and I, because Kelly doesn't like me saying this, but I tell her all the time, she saved my life because she told me about this book that she had listened to. And she's talked about how she used to vape and she doesn't anymore. And we've been talking about doing like a stream about it because I know that a lot of people struggle with nicotine. So stay tuned for that. That hopefully be in the next week or two. I love our collabs together. I don't care what we talk about. I just love collabing with Calais. Ever. Oh, wow. Jazzy girl Sarah, I can actually sense when my wife's blood sugar is getting low. She's a type 1 diabetic and she has lots of lows, which hit out of nowhere. Wow. Wow. Hmm. That's wild. Yeah. I believe it. And you know what? I think the animals are like natural empaths too, because don't they feel your emotions, they know when something's wrong. Yeah. And definitely something was said to me once and it made a lot of sense is that like that two two empaths, well, it was described to me more as like a gardener and a flower, right? So if you think of somebody that's like maybe high maintenance, maybe does tend towards a little bit of the narcissistic qualities, not a full blown, hopefully that then they need to avoid it, unfortunately. But when you think of like a gardener and a flower, like a gardener and a flower can probably cohabitate, right? And then two gardeners could. So if you think of the gardener as like an empath, right? So an empath can take care of an empath, right? But if you have two flowers together, they're gonna die because they have nobody to take care of them, because they refuse to take care of themselves. So yeah, I guess I'd rather be an empath. I'd rather be a gardener than a flower. And I think Duncan and I, in some way, well, I can be a flower. I can. I know I can be a lot. I'll admit it. I believe I am very empathic, but Duncan, I think, is fairly low maintenance. He definitely is a gardener, and yeah, he's amazing. He's been so good to me during this whole smoking / menopause thing. He's put up with a lot, but I think that we are both we're both gardeners. You know, we both try to take care of each other. So I think that makes for a good relationship. So, all right, everyone. I think I'm going to wrap this up soon because it looks like it's noon. And let's see if I think I have space up. SPTV.space. Okay, it says I'm still the only one live. Let me know if Miss Natalie, is she going live? Because I don't want to miss her. Hey, anybody missing? Nance Drew, so good to see you. So glad you're in here. And Pinche Becky, hey there. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Olivia's feeling empathetic. I hear you. Hilo McDonald, let's do a Zena Marlene. We'll probably be doing some tomorrow. Tomorrow is Doug's birthday. And here we go. Let's see. Do I want water or tea? I'll do the tea. I got the spatula cup today. Zena Marlene, everybody. Don't drop your effing spatula. And there's to Doug. All right. If I missed your comment, please put it in the comment section of the video. I always read them. I promise. I read all of them because I get the notification right away every time someone comments. And even if I don't answer it, I definitely read it. And I try to at least acknowledge everyone. So Nana boo boo. Yes. Bless Doug. He left us too soon. Yeah. Yeah. So if everyone wants to just come together tomorrow, I'll be on usually around 11-ish Eastern. And yeah, we'll just remember our friend Doug. And if you want to, just share something like just that you remember about him, things you liked mostly about him. Can we room raid Natalie? Absolutely. Let's do it. Hold on. Let me refresh. Get the link. Is she live yet? There she is. Okay, let's get the link. Oh, what happened? I bet one of the mods could do this a lot quicker than me, but my computer is being so slow. Okay, I think I got the link. There we go. You see it, everybody? All right. I will see you over there and have a great day. Bye. Zenu, Marlene, everybody partake. Cheers. This is good coffee. This is why, my hubby makes the coffee.